Welcome everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome on this beautiful sunny day to Morning Mindset. And lovely to see you back again here, Karen. We've missed you, just letting you know. So I've had an incredible week this week. I've been trying out this new technique. This is definitely a coaching technique that I'm going to be incorporating in. No worries, Karen. We just hope you're okay. This is definitely a technique that we're going to be incorporating, obviously, into my Luxuriate Mastermind coaching. And I feel that we've had quite a good week. Oh, we've just got death at the bottom. Something's coming to an end here. Oh, we've got, wow. I'm just going to go with these because death was there and then the devil directly came out. So somebody here has got a problem. Somebody has got a real issue with this particular topic today. And the topic today is indecisiveness. The topic today is when you, we're talking about causes of failure. If you haven't seen the previous videos this week, we're talking specifically about causes of failure. And inside Think and Grow Rich, I'll just quick recap you here. Think and Grow Rich is like my business Bible. And I have a complete mastermind coaching program centered around Think and Grow Rich and the principles in Think and Grow Rich. And I've really been trying to think about ways that I can expand on the book through my mastermind using cards, because as I mentioned in the first video, sometimes people, things are so deeply buried in their subconscious that just simply through talking about things doesn't necessarily always bring them to the surface. So we might need a little bit of a help. And sometimes, on occasion, the cards can also be a little bit of a wake-up call. So I'm now using cards as a technique to be able to support and help people in the mastermind. And we're going through this process of going through certain aspects of the book. In this case, the subject is causes of failure this time. And I picked out a few of the causes of failure. And today our cause of failure is centered around lack of well-defined power of decision. In other words, you stall yourself from achieving the success that you want to achieve simply through, welcome Nikki, simply through not being able to decide, do I go left or do I go right? I don't know. Do I go up? Do I go down? Do I choose red or do I choose blue? It's like the Matrix. Do you want the red pill or the blue pill? And that in itself means that we get so up in our head, we get so overwhelmed with the decision process that we shut down. This is a potential, according to Napoleon Hill, a potential cause of failure. So the description for this is men or women, everyone said men back then, didn't they? Men who succeed reach decisions promptly and change them, if at all, very slowly. And I noticed as my business progressed, I used to really overthink decisions constantly until I started going with my gut instinct, like, yes, this is the right thing to do. And I didn't care about the consequences of it as long as I felt it. So when I read this book, it really drove home to me about how I make decisions now and how I progress forward in my life and my work and my business so much quicker because of this. So I'm going to read that again. Men or women who succeed reach decisions promptly and change them, if at all, very slowly. Men who fail reach decisions, if at all, very slowly. So if you're taking too much time to make a decision, then you're on the path to failure. And change them very frequently. And again, if you take so long to make a decision and then immediately turn around and go, oh no, maybe that's not right, or maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe I should have took the other one, then that is also the path to failure. So men who fail reach decisions of it all very slowly and change them very frequently and quickly. Indecision and procrastination are twin brothers. Where one is found, the other may usually be found also. Kill off this pair before they completely hogtie you to the treadmill of failure. Indecision and procrastination, twin brothers that are going to lead you down the path of failure. So part of the technique that we use in Luxuriate is we will first of all pull a card. Oh, Nikki, at least you recognize that. Not many people do. But if like the first step is really to kind of like say, yeah, my name's Nikki and I'm an indecisive procrastinator. I'm making fun of this, but it is quite serious. I'm sorry. But we all have to keep a light-hearted approach to these things. I'm just going to do one more shuffle of one more card to find out what's going on here. So obviously we're pulling messages in a general sense today. I would do this very specifically for you inside my mastermind program. But this is basically, if you hear this message and it resonates, then it's for you. If you hear this message and you're like, yeah, then it's for you. So we had 4 story cards. So first of all, we tell a story. We've got the story to start with, and then there is a card that is giving you some advice as to how to shift the situation. And then we've got an overall energy card, which is going to give you a clue as to how to progress forward and the energy that you need to be in order to make this work. The energy card is taking its sweet time, but we're going to wait for it. There we go. Okay, so the theme is indecision, procrastination. You are not able to make the right decisions. Who is this for now? So 4 cards came out, and they came out in this particular order. First of all, we have the Devil. Now, the Devil isn't always a bad card, so don't think about it like that. But somebody has been holding themselves back, chaining themselves up, keeping themselves from moving forward. And this has been the little, you know, like we've got these, I'm not going to say we've got people on our shoulders, that's really weird, but you know, like we have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. And I feel like the conscious mind is like, yeah, I'm going to go for it and it's going to be great. But the subconscious mind is constantly trying to protect you by keeping you in these chains. So again, we've got that protection coming in. We've got that like holding back, withdrawing, too afraid to move forward. You know, the Devil is, you know, it can also indicate, you know, fears, and which is very interesting because we've got the opposite end of that on the other side of this. But I would say it's definitely related to something you're afraid of. So if somebody here is afraid of actually doing the things that they know that they need to do, then this is for you. We have the 2 of Swords. This also came up earlier. Turning a blind eye, protecting yourself, chaining yourself up, protecting yourself. Somebody here is very, very overprotective of themselves because of I would say, a very ingrained, deep-seated fear, which has left them in hermit mode. We've withdrawn. Again, a form of protection, a form of mechanism. These are 3 cards here that are all about withdrawing, protecting. I can't, you know, like I'm going to turn a blind eye to this. I'm going to pretend it's not happening. I'm going to keep myself hidden. This is Virgo energy. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles here. And the 6 of Pentacles is interesting in this case. You know, it's actually a nice card. Like, I don't think it's a bad one. But I feel that we're in a situation here where you're going to have to ask for help. There's something that you've been thinking about doing. Like getting to the point where you know that you're so indecisive and you're procrastinating so much on this that it's time to actually call on the help of others. And maybe you've been thinking about taking a course or doing some coaching or joining a group or asking a friend or relative for help in some way, whether that be financial, whether that be academic knowledge, whether that be, you know, that there's something missing, or you know that you've reached a plateau in this, and in order to move forward, you're definitely going to need help. And like I say, the more and more that you've gone into this protection mode, the more and more you've held yourself back. And the only thing that's going to get you out right now is if you say to yourself, okay, I've chained myself up, I've put up my guard, I've put the blindfold on, I've gone into hermit mode, so I've completely withdrawn. And that could also mean completely withdrawing for your business. It could also mean completely withdrawing about talking to other people about it, because you just simply don't want to answer the questions as to, but you started this years ago, you know, like, why aren't you where you're supposed to be, that type of thing, and maybe you're just not cut out for this. It's time to ask for help. Massive, massive withdrawal here, like, and then we have true love is without condition. So if, again, this fear or this thing that is holding you back is more about, if I try this again and I make the wrong decision and it doesn't work out, then what are people going to think about me? What are people going to say about me? Am I just going to be somebody who repetitively fails and, you know, never makes the cut? And this message to you is that true love is without condition. So the way I see this, the people that are going to be supportive of you and encouraging you are the people that you want around in your life. And if you move forward and do this, and anybody says to you, again, this chit chat about, oh, well, yeah, you tried it before, good luck with that type thing, then they are not loving you without condition. So the message here with this is to constantly ask yourself, if somebody is being mean to you, if somebody is being sarcastic, I'm getting this, somebody like has a lot of sarcasm, maybe a little bit narcissistic as well, you know, like there could be somebody in your life who's a little bit of a narcissist, or somebody's a little bit sarcastic, somebody who's maybe quite successful in what they do and have seen you not be quite so successful. Just know that they are loving you with condition. And you want to pretty much ignore anybody who's doing that. And you want to focus on the people who are supporting you without condition. True love is without condition. And you need the energy of true love in your life right now. I'm not talking about necessarily romance. I'm talking about true love. And this also goes within. So if you are the one who has been toxic to yourself, if you are the one that's been putting yourself down, if you are the one who's been almost, you know, saying, well, put that on the back burner because, you know, you failed last time, so what makes you think this is going to be any different now? You are not loving yourself without condition. So you need to pay attention to this and begin the process of loving without condition. And then, you know, in the beginning, I talked about fear. I talked about where you are currently. Your current story is a lot about fear, protection, being... It's almost like you're a split personality. And I feel that here with the Devil card. There's definitely two sides to you. There's definitely... Whoever this person is, they really do have two sides to them. And they flip from one extreme to the other sometimes. You know, one time it can be, I'm all in and I'm going for it and everything's going to be great. And then the other time it can be just like depression, you know, coming down to reality, coming down to like, it's all or nothing almost. I think it's just all or nothing with you. And when it's good, it's really good. But you can't maintain that because you flip into this other side of yourself. So we talked a lot about fear, and a lot of fear is driving, Karen thinks it's her, a lot of fear is driving this, and the fear takes you into protection mode and hermit mode. You know, it takes you into that, well, if I can't make a decision and I keep procrastinating on everything, I just won't do anything at all. I'll just sit here and watch the world go by. And then you're stuck, you know. So loving without condition is a huge part of this process, because once you're doing things from a place where you feel loved without condition, that will give you the strength. You know, true love without condition is very much about giving you the strength. And what is the opposite of fear? It is hope. You need to move into a version of hope, you know, looking on the horizon, seeing better things out there for you. And the more you can shift into that and less out of the protection mode and the fear mode and go into the hope mode, it says, may the horizon always sustain you. It's telling you to always look forward. There is too much looking behind you and focusing on what was. And you need to really change that. And I know you can't change that overnight and just suddenly say, well, I'm going to disregard all these beliefs that have got me here so far to this point of my life. But you can change it through beginning to feel hopeful. I was talking to a friend the other day, and they did something quite daring, and they sent an email to somebody very, very huge, I would say. And as soon as they sent the email, they sent it with a tracking system, and they saw the email repeatedly being opened, you know, come back to and being opened and come back to and being opened. And they kind of immediately had a negative thought in their minds that because they'd not had a reply about the email, then that meant something bad, and he could see the email was constantly being opened, but nothing was coming back. So it's almost like being kept in the dark. And then you immediately think, oh my God, have I done something wrong? Has it upset someone? Is it been ignored? Am I really that, you know, like not worth looking at? And that never occurred to me at all. I immediately thought, well, what if this person, because they are so high up, you know, they're obviously extremely busy, maybe they're looking at this and taking note of this and maybe passing it to somebody else who can deal with it, or maybe they want to have a meeting about it before they contact you back, or, you know, and I was coming up with like a million of these scenarios. Okay, a million is too much, but a lot of these scenarios as to what could be potentially happening behind the scenes that, you know, this person may have not considered. And I did that from a place of hope. And when you constantly, you know, think the worst or expect the worst, then what do you think is going to happen? So the best thing you can hold on to when you're making an indecisive decision, or you need to make a decision, you're being indecisive and you're procrastinating on it, you know, the likelihood is because you've hooked on to the worst case scenario. You can unhook yourself from that and then just make a list of all the best case scenarios, all the most hopeful scenarios that can come out of it, and just focus on those and not the other side of things. And that's very much what this is. There's very much two sides to somebody here. It's like you're two different people, and you step into one, you step into the other, and you do that, you know, almost like ping pong. And I have the feeling you do it on a subconscious level to protect yourself. You know, it's like when you're in the mode of positive and going for it, then you are feeling fantastic, but immediately there is a pull from the other side that says, no, this is not safe. A million things can go wrong here. You know, like, don't do that. And then you flip back into the other mode where you've kind of talked yourself out of it. So have a little think about that one and see what comes out of that for you. And again, if you ever feel like these messages are for you, reflect on them. You know, really reflect on them and ask yourself that deep work and those deep questions that are going to actually be uncomfortable for you, but you will find the answers. Yes, Gemini. Gemini is the lovers, isn't it? It's I suppose. And I suppose in a way the two types of personality could potentially be the masculine and the feminine, you know, side of you and things like that. You know, I always feel that the masculine, like a lot of people different, like say this is wrong or say this is not right, but I always feel the masculine side is, you know, the one that is more protective and more dominant, and then the feminine side is the one that's like, yeah, we're gonna go for this, and I'm so excited and so happy about it. But then the masculine side is coming in going, whoa, wait, you know, like, that's how I feel personally, but it could be many different things. You know, the Gemini energy is hope and fear. The Gemini energy is love and hate. You know, it's yin and yang. It's so that, yeah, that could potentially be it. All of you have resonated. Everybody here has resonated with this. So, like I say, the reading is general. So if there are certain pieces of this reading where you're like, okay, that's something that I need to take on board, or that's something that I need to listen to, then that piece of it is for you. Sometimes the whole reading is for you, but like I say, these are not one-on-one things. But if you look at this and hear this and you think, oh, yeah, that's me, then these messages are meant for you. Wonderful. That concludes this week's little experiment. I'm super excited to be starting to use this. If anybody is interested in working one-on-one so we can actually pull a lot of these messages for you specifically, then it's virtualmissfriday.com/lux. And if anyone is listening to the replay or has any questions about some of the other techniques that we use inside this, then by all means reach out and ask me questions. Okay, so now we're moving on to our daily accountability. So get your journals at the ready. This is always non-negotiable. Try to focus on the positives. Try to really look back at these journals and think about how far you've come. And don't forget, if you make these lists of things that you want in your life, goals that you want to achieve, you know, really journal them. And this includes as well, if you decide to make a decision but you feel some resistance to it, as long as it's from your heart, as long as it's from a place of love, simply just write down and think about all the things to be hopeful for and all the things that you have on the horizon when the decision comes out in your favor, because that should be the only thought in your head, the only option available to you. Regardless of whether that's reality or not, it does not matter. You're creating your reality with how you're thinking about it. Okay, so I'll see you back here tomorrow. We're doing our 1, 2, 3 card readings. It's been a very cardy week this week. We're doing 1, 2, 3 card readings tomorrow on Thursday. But in the meantime, have a wonderful day ahead. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. I love that. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for accountability. For now, let's do today's. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside virtual co-working space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action.
Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.